Episode 70, Exercise, Decreasing Your Suffering Threshold.
You're listening to the very best podcast in the world on health, wealth, and happiness. Please remember to leave a review and share with all your friends and family. And here is your host, Lars Hilser.
And we have stepped into a new year, and let's hope this one doesn't turn out as big a clusterfuck as the last one did. Welcome to the 70th episode altogether, and the first episode of 2021 of the very best podcast in the world. Your only place in the universe, or the best place in the universe, for personal supremacy through health, wealth, and happiness. Now, that speaking of starting and new and stuff like that, I will be making a short trailer video about the podcast in the near future. It was supposed to be the first episode, but I never got to finish it because I was so unsatisfied with how it kind of turned out that I actually canned the entire effort. Sorry for that. However, I've been getting inquiries. Where does the idea come from? Where can we buy your shit? Where are the $2,000 courses that we can buy? Why does it sound so overly over the top and sarcastic and whatnot? Well, I got pissed off a lot about these motivational gurus and selling gurus and forex trader gurus and whatever not placing their landmines on the internet and prowling and preying on the most vulnerable, luring them into, mostly false promises. And just taking advantage of people. I really hate that down to the fucking core. So, therefore, the very best podcast in the world started out as a persiflage against these people. And it basically tells the same story. You're going to hear the same bullshit from all of these people wanting to pitch to you through YouTube commercials or whatever. So basically they're throwing you a hook and whatnot, et cetera, et cetera. So then they lure you in, and at some point you get the, hey, you need to take advantage of this course now because it's only going to be around for a couple of days and you need to buy it now, and it's only $2,500, and you can use your credit card and you will be making so much money and your life will improve so significantly that you can pay the loan back within days and blah. And I've heard a lot of stories in context to the emails that I got where significant amount of people were really, 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 really fucking ripped off. And so that's how this thing really got its name. And it tells a similar story that, I basically came from I don't want to say nothing. I had a home, and a very, very caring parents and, very safe surrounding. And, we never lacked anything, really, but there wasn't a trust fund, set aside for me that I was able to take advantage of and, go into life well-funded. Everything I did and everything I experienced on this long journey, or this multitude of journeys, I had to work for myself. Now, I was very lucky and fortunate that I didn't have to, rip people off with expensive courses based on promises I couldn't keep. I, actually had professions that made me good money to a degree where I don't have to work anymore now. So For me, this platform is sharing that experience with people and motivating them to actually excel and, think over a few things in their life to, perhaps start a new life, a better life, if they are in a shitty situation, or just improve it, by, starting a side hustle or whatever it is. Speaking of that, you notice that I use a lot of the terminology because it is my declared goal to lure in as many people as possible to share this story and to give them advice, only with the perk that there is no button to rip you off later on. That being said, you heard that I am, I don't know, chewing a little bit when I'm talking. That's due to the fact that I saw a dentist yesterday. And it was just an interesting experience because usually I don't have to. If I have minute things, which do happen with my body, I am, a very what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Experienced meditator. I don't know. I've used meditation successfully to heal a lot of ailings that my body has, and among that was, one or two root canal. No, what is it? Root canal, root infections, root, whatever. You know what I mean. And so this thing I couldn't get rid of for a couple of days, and I started to contemplate going to the dentist. And it was a good choice because I had misinterpreted what I thought was pupillitis, whatever the thing is called. And it was actually a cavity that had expanded, and the was connected to the nerves, and then it hurt on the wrong tooth for some bizarre reason. The dentist attempted to explain, but my medical knowledge is close to nil in this field. So anyhow, long story short, I went through quite a few days of suffering and trying to solve the problem myself through mindfulness and meditation. If that didn't entirely cut it, I resorted to the big pharma industry and took some pain meds, and overdosed myself with vitamin C, which stimulates the immune system to a certain degree. Long story short, that didn't really pan out. Went to the dentist, and between the pain starting and me going to the dentist were quite a few days of suffering. And that's what today's episode is about, now that we've taken care of all the housekeeping bullshit. I get so easily distracted. That being said, the episode today is in format of an exercise where we're trying to decrease the threshold of where suffering leads to action. I think the reverse term would be complacency with your situation, but not necessarily and entirely, because you have to accept that you're born into this world to suffer. As ironic as it sounds and as beautiful as you want to make it, life is full of suffering in a variety of ways. It's just how you deal with it, how you negotiate the challenges presented to you in life, and how quickly you change the situation so that the suffering reduces. Now, for me, it was based on a misinterpretation of myself. The cavity that was there, I wasn't able to see myself. So, it was like a very interesting process to go through. And, yesterday I said, look, it's over. It's done. Dennis, there you go. Look if you can figure out the problem. And he did. Took care of it. However, for these couple of days, could I have reduced them? Yes. I could have. I could have gone to the dentist, could have used his training and professional workmanship to resolve the problem immediately, with the consequence that I would have had to pay him. I would have had to go through an uncomfortable, very much more uncomfortable procedure than trying to get rid of the problem with proven methods, the ones I explained earlier. And that being said, I waited, and the suffering I had wasn't really, that bad. It was uncomfortable, but it wasn't as bad as somebody, hammering around on your teeth and, working in your mouth. That kind of bad, it wasn't that bad yet. And so I was kind of complacent with the situation. I could have probably gone longer with it, but considering the weekend was coming up, I didn't really want to, let it get worse, because obviously I wasn't reaching any or achieving any results with what I was doing. So I think the number one thing really is the point of awareness in this sense, right? So if you're suffering in whichever way, shape, or form, are you aware that you're suffering? And that's you have to acknowledge that there is a challenge that was thrown at you in life. And then you have to say to you, or you have to kind of, make out for yourself, do you want to tackle the challenge, or are the circumstances okay? That's entirely up to you. Obviously, it's your life, right? And then it's about how you dedicate resources towards negotiating the challenge or overcoming it entirely. And these are three important factors that I wanted to outline. So I think if we take a sheet of paper, really, and, well, actually, let's take three, just for shits and giggles. Take one, put it in horizontal mode, as we would say in Excel, and then, make three, tabs, three lines, whatever, three columns. There we go. And then on the left-hand side, write the challenge. Then in the next column, we're going to put, acceptable or unacceptable. And in the third column, we're going to put how can we most efficiently tackle the challenge. And I think that's actually the way to move forward in this, and to actually resolve the issues. Because come to think of it, in some of my really shitty days, I actually made that 3-column sheet of paper. Don't go writing novels about your challenges. Bullets are going to be sufficient. If you say life situation or financial situation, or, your relationship, or whatever it is, your relationship to a coworker is a challenge, whatever it is, at the end of the day, that goes into the left column. And then in the center column, it's going to go, is it tolerable, or am I suffering too greatly that I actually have to change something about this? And then you move on to the right-hand side and say, okay, how am I going to tackle this problem? There, boom, that's a good exercise. And considering that, I don't know, I wasn't drunk yesterday, not at all, actually. And so it was, an easy peasy Passover to 2021. But I think this challenge is actually, or this exercise is going to be insanely interesting for a lot of you. So I think it's a good thing to get that into the process of getting the year started, since the year starts with the weekend. And in that sense, I hope that it helps. Give me your feedback, critique, remarks, and whatever to the very best podcast in the world at gmail.com. And happy new year to you. And I'll see you again on Monday, fresh and anew, and hopefully with some changes made out for you on a mind map. Take care. Peace out. Bye-bye.